Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 13 of Mies and Podcast. This is Chef.
How you doing?
This is Mike. Naim Oleg. Welcome.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you again. Mies and Podcast, Stories from the Dish Pit. We want to say thank you to, we've made it to 136 subscribers. 136 subscribers.
We'll keep climbing.
We're going to keep climbing. I'm just amazed that we got 136 subscribers. Yes.
That means 136 people want to hear our bullshit.
It does mean 136 people want to hear our bullshit. And thank you for letting us bullshit you and tell you some fun stories and some topics that we could expand on. It's an unscripted podcast. And, we just come up with topics and talk about them as they come up on our weekly podcast that we do. First off, shout outs always to Red's Barkers out on Arthur Kill Road. Don't be a stalker, get a barker. She's got really good hot dogs, probably some of the best on the island. She got the brotato and everything too. Shout outs to Throttle Junkies out in Deer Park, Long Island. Back of the Closet out in Huntington, and also Pierce Entertainment, man, for all your DJing needs. He's going to be doing an event on the 13th, so make sure you check out all the links that are on our page. What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good. How was your week? What happened? Anything exciting? We did go for tacos.
Yeah.
We went for tacos.
We went for a brewery at tacos in by Williamsburg area. They were really spot on tacos to the point like they've been Channel 7 News and other people have reported about them. They're like a staple of the neighborhood. They've only been out there for not that long, but they've grown a name for themselves. They don't serve much besides the tacos, a little taco.
That's all it is.
Besides a taco, a birria sandwich, and maybe like another one or two items that all include the same birria thing, and that's it. They have only 4 items in the entire menu. And that's it.
And it's smart because when he walked up, it was me, him, Rob, a couple other people who were like, "Oh, like just order," and I heard him just say, it was like 8 tacos, and I had to stop and I looked. I was like, "What?" Like, wait a second. And then, it came to him because he had told me, he was like, this is I've been dying to go to that place and just didn't put 2 and 2 together. But that's what started the whole rage out here. Birria tacos, I guess. And the broth and the consume. Don't drop the consume. If anybody doesn't know what the consume is, it's the broth that you
consomme.
So guess what happened?
You dropped it, didn't you?
Spill the consume. My car still smells like tacos.
But that's good, though. That's good when it smells like that. It's like,
better than an air freshener.
You remember the old White Castle commercials? The guy
Leave it in.
Leave it in. That's it.
It was hysterical. But yeah, man, that's the spot on Metropolitan Avenue. You can check out. We'll put a link up for them. We didn't do a reel or anything from there, but it was just really good, man. That was some of the best. Those were the best tacos I've had. And it was great just going out there. But now,
simple, few ingredient street tacos. That's all you really need.
But now, if you know me, and I got to be a ball buster, anywhere on Staten Island that you go to has birria tacos.
Of course,
it's any Italian.
But that doesn't mean that they're good.
No, any Italian restaurant you go to, they're like, oh yeah, we braise beef. We got a consomme. We got birria tacos on the menu. It's like chicken palm, scallops risotto, lobster fry diablo. Birria tacos, calamari puttanesca.
No, see, like the real birria taco spots. Like if it's a added item to the menu, like the spot that's next to my house, like their specialty items they sell out usually by lunchtime. So tongue.
We're talking about the truck around by your house? Yeah.
Tongue,
that place is good.
Tongue, birria, and like all the hide items, they sell out of them within like half a portion of the day, and they only start around lunch,
Yeah,
so
around
like
12, around 12:30.
Yeah, so like if you try to go there in the evening time, most of the items are gone. Like,
and that's it. When they're done, they're done. That's it.
Yeah.
No soup for you, no tacos for you. This is what we have. You can have it. I just had a great idea sitting here.
Uh-oh.
Red's Hot Dogs. Red, you should do birria barkers.
Instead of dirty water
Instead
dogs,
of dirty water hot dogs, you
just
got
birria water.
Birria barkers, man. That's it. Just
Hey,
dip
that might
your
actually
hot dog.
work.
Dip your hot dog in consume. Come on, man.
You would have to cut it open in order to get the flavor inside.
Red, don't forget.
Red.
We expect a 15% finder's fee for all this. So, remember that.
That could be interesting.
It would be interesting. I would try that. I mean, listen, you have hot dog flavored water, ice cream, and ketchup and mustard cakes from the 70s. Why can't you have a beer or a hot dog?
What's the worst that could happen, guys?
Well, I'm sure there's been worse.
Exactly. So, Red.
But anyway, Red, yeah. So, yeah, get on that.
I was going to say, yeah, get on that.
Get on that.
Let us know. We'll come in. We'll test it out. We'll be the guinea pigs.
That brings me into something we wanted to talk about tonight was what's the right way to say it? Ethnic stereotypes in a kitchen, I guess. I don't know. Basically, the bottom line is the only place I've ever seen anybody of a descent working in the restaurant that's if it's an Oriental restaurant, if it's a Chinese restaurant, there's Chinese people in the back. If it's an Italian restaurant, everybody is Spanish. If it's a Spanish restaurant, everybody's you don't see that mixture, man. So I think that's
Well, Chinese restaurants, one of their prerequisites is you need to speak fluent Mandarin because back of house speaks Mandarin.
That fucking guy I
And
worked with.
you could fake it till you make it, but I faked it in just about every cuisine. I could never fake it in a Chinese cuisine because I can't fake Mandarin.
No, absolutely not. But besides that, I can cook my ass off, not to toot my own horn, but still now, I would not walk into a Chinese restaurant and be like, okay, let me get on one of the woks. No way.
No, not at all.
Back there in that restaurant is Uncle, we'll call him Rick. Because the place around the corner from me is a great spot, Jade Island,
Cigarette
man.
in the mouth.
And everybody in there is Tom, Rick, Tony, Mike, and that's not. But in the back is Uncle Rick standing over the fucking wok. Anything he can make, he makes in 30 seconds. He's got the cigarette hanging out of his mouth, and he never sits down. All they do is crouch.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. No matter,
The Asian crouch.
that's it. It's the Asian crouch. But I think that's there's something that's a misconception. You go into any restaurant. I know in New York, I don't know how it is anywhere else, but everywhere I've worked, the whole majority it's all Latin. I've been a minority in many kitchens.
Yeah, same here. I've been the only white guy in the kitchen full of Latin cooks. And trying to run a kitchen where you're the only
It's hard.
white dude in the kitchen and everybody speaks Spanish and at the same time is also talking shit about you
Because
in Spanish.
You don't have to know
because
Spanish.
they don't,
They're talking shit
because
about
they
you.
don't think that but 20 plus years in kitchen, basic Spanish.
Yeah, well,
so when somebody's talking shit about you, so
It's kitchen Spanish,
Yeah.
and I amaze myself because I can't speak a lick of good Spanish at all.
No.
But you put me in a kitchen, and it's a rush, and I speak the best kitchen Spanish you ever can, and it
But
just
that-
comes
that-
across, and I don't even know where it comes from.
you
Sometimes
you learn a few key words like kitchen Spanish. Before when I used to do construction, I knew construction Spanish, basically like what cabinets material need. Now I work a lot of Latino operators of machinery, so I know basic operating terms. So you learn a couple things here and there. But yeah, Latin cooks are the only ones that are able to fully be accepted and integrated. Because whenever I try to do similar type things, I always look down on when I was the only cook. Like I was saying, the only white cook in a Latin kitchen, and eventually my recipe for guacamole and pico de gallo ended up being changed, being put on the menu instead of the one that they had before.
They must have hated you.
Oh, they hated me because I used to I decided that it tastes better if you fire roast the citrus.
Yeah.
And I fought them tooth and nail until I proved to them that fire roasted citrus tastes better, and my guacamole tastes better than theirs. So it was the same thing with pico. My pico tasted better than theirs, and it was put on the menu, and they hated me for it.
There is nothing harder to do and is more intimidating than starting in a new kitchen.
Oh yeah.
There's nothing. Corporate is different, because it's very structured and things like that. But you walk into a new kitchen, man, where there's just old school line dogs, and this guy's been, and that's another thing we spoke about. But you got that one guy, let's call him Mike, and he's been on the grill for 20 years, and you're gonna come in, and Mike hates you for the first 3 weeks. Nobody likes you. They're gonna screw with
You're
you.
lucky it's only the third 3 weeks.
They're gonna, you're gonna get sabotaged. Shit's gonna happen, but there's no bigger balls than if you can stick through it and you walk into a kitchen and you just prove yourself and you're on the same level.
Exactly.
And you guys are eating together. You're standing over garbage cans.
Yep.
You're running out for quick cigarettes behind the dumpster, and you just show them that you click.
Yeah.
Then it's an acceptance. But that's the hardest thing I ever thought I'd have to do is walk into a kitchen, and especially then walk into a kitchen, not just be a saute cook, but walk in as a chef.
Yeah. When you're trying to run a team and you're trying to prove to everybody that you're worthy of, and nobody thinks you're worthy, because I've been on a team where they replace management and you're like, fuck that guy. It's like when you're in school and you're getting a substitute teacher. You're never going to listen to the sub until like that sub is going to come a bunch of times in a row and make an impact on you. Same thing with a chef that's in charge.
And that's what it is, because there's a lot of turnover in the industry. There really is. You got places and things like that, and when you've been at a job for 6-7 years and you've seen 4 or 5 chefs come through, what makes you different than the last fucking schmuck that just came through? Tried to do the same thing and he didn't. We won. Yeah. And it's an uphill battle from day one, but you always gotta keep it that, man. But I've always been big on winning your team over. But that's what it is. And I know New York restaurants. I wonder what it's like in other parts, man. If you're listening to this, one of the 136 subscribers, I know you're not all friends because I have a lot of acquaintances. I don't think I have that many friends. But man, if you're listening to this from wherever, what's it like in your kitchen? What's the crews run by? Is it true that like Idaho, it's really all, white guys named Cole and Dale behind the line?
Well, kind of.
Are they really Skylers that work in the industry? I mean,
well, definitely, kind of is, because like in PA they got rednecks doing landscaping because they don't have like Mexicans there. They haven't imported them yet.
Do you know there was a movie called A Day Without Mexicans?
It sounds like a sad day to me. Bro, it's like a day without tacos.
I don't remember the movie. Oh, man, imagine that. I don't remember what the basis of it was, but I think it had something to do with like a DJ in California called a strike for some reason, a Spanish radio DJ. And like nobody's lawns were getting, there was nothing happening. and it was like California was just like dead. But that's the truth of it. God, you can squint and you can say, but I mean, that's the truth. But I'm curious.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I can't speak for another nationality or whatever. I know in the restaurant industry, we're all the same people, because at the end of the day, we all want one thing and one thing only, and we're all there for one reason, because we are terrible people in one way or another and just been burnt up inside. But I want to know what it's like in other parts of the country, because everywhere I've been to California and I've done gigs in Texas and Arizona and Chicago, and it's all Spanish, man. It really is. It's all Spanish from what I've worked with. But
yeah, everybody tag your state. Let us know where
Or
you're
country.
at,
That
how
would
it
be pretty
is,
cool.
Or
what you're
country.
doing, state, country, whatever.
yeah, that would be pretty cool. I want to know what it's like working. Get out of my way. I want to know what it's like working where you're at. I want to know how it's different. Tell us about it, because we can only speak for New York
Yeah,
and the
for the
derelict
most
shit
part,
that
yeah.
goes on here. Skill versus character. What'd you put up before? Because the GOAT said it. How does it go? You gotta have you have to have character to beat.
Skills can be taught. Character, you either have it or you don't.
Or you don't, man. Yeah, exactly.
So my spin-off of that is there's a lot of characters in the kitchen and not a lot of character right now. There's a lot of people who want to be in
it's fun.
who want to be individuals, and they think they're the next God's gift to mankind in the culinary industry. When you're just a number, you're just another cook.
That's it. Yeah.
And you need to know your place. And it's important to be just another cook, but you need to be the best just another cook you could be. You can't be trying to do TikTok videos as you're doing prep work. Like,
But see,
things
that's the
don't
thing
work
now.
like
Everyone
that.
wants to do that, though.
and that's I
Because
think,
they think that that's what makes it. Like,
Right.
but out of 1 million people that are doing that, maybe one or a few people will pick it up. Like,
get their algorithm going.
yeah.
That's it. That's it.
You know, it's again, and it's never like that. And I'll always compare how we came up to what's going on now, and now you know you see it, and I see a lot of things on social media, and that's all it is. You know, people on the line taking pictures, like, congratulations, you did your look at my fryer, it's clean.
Hello, Mr. George. How much you pay for the new guy? $20? No, too much money. He's not doing nothing.
Great, you did your fucking job.
Like,
Like,
it's
what
a
the fuck?
flex
There was a
about
guy-
getting your station clean. Like, it's a given.
There was a guy today, man, and I haven't seen this done in years. And the caption just said it was slow. And what he did was he had his burners, his 12 burners going, and he had 4 of them broken down, and the gas lines, wherever it is, what, I don't know what the fuck that's called, the who's a majiggy,
Okay.
where the flames come out of and everything. He had them upside down, and that's something we used to do. We used to have a drill,
Yeah, we
or the
burned them
long
out. Yeah, of
toothpicks, and,
course,
and
yeah.
you burn out all the carbon and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
And he was like, I had extra time in the day. And again, right away, boom, everybody, boom, like, what are you doing? Why do you have extra time? Do they really care about you? It's like,
But
no,
that's your
it's
job.
fucking ethic, man. And it's
Yeah.
the place where I work. So yeah, that's
Because
what I'm
everybody
gonna
just
do.
expected of having downtime and just being.
So they can play
Like-
on their phones.
Everybody wants to do the
Yeah.
minimal now and be rewarded for
That's it.
just doing the minimal or being pat on the back for, oh, good job,
Good
you
job.
showed up today.
Or
and I
like-
have to,
like the
sometimes it's like
viral-
that. Oh,
Here's
thank
your
you for fucking showing
participation
up today.
trophy.
Like the viral video of the fry bitch that drops her phone in the deep fryer.
I didn't see that.
I'll find it. I'll tag this into it so we can. But there's a chick that was on the fryer and she drops her
Did
phone.
she go in to get it?
No, she just is standing
man.
there all like shocked because she drops her phone in the deep fryer because she was just too busy doing other shit. You know, like.
It used
But
to
that's
be,
what people are like. They don't care. Like, people are on their phones all the fucking time.
we said it an episode or 2 ago, you know, and even with food. Now it's not about going out to the restaurant for the culinary experience. It's going out for the clout and the
Yeah.
how many likes you're gonna get by taking this and
Yeah, taking pictures of your phone, of your food and everything
Well,
like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
You know, it's such a weird fucking time. It really is. The industry is shit.
People are showing off right now where their boyfriend takes them. Or like, this restaurant. Be happy somebody takes you out. Be somebody takes you out in public.
Have you listened to
Like,
yourself? Be happy you're with somebody.
That's
Be
it.
happy somebody's putting up with
That's
you.
what I mean. Like, you know, like you're trying to degrade somebody because they took you to one restaurant over another. Be happy somebody's paying for your meal. Be happy somebody's with you. Like, be happy about little things.
How about just be happy?
That's what I mean.
I came in here. I was unhappy today. I came in, and I'm usually a happy guy. I was a little unhappy.
Then Mike gave you a hug.
Mike did give me a hug, and then you said some choice words on the way out to go smoke a joint at us. I don't think we didn't hear you. That's it. Ladies and gentlemen, Meeson Podcast. I'm Chef.
Listen,
That's
mental
Oleg,
health-
That's Mike. This is us. We do this back and forth.
Mental health is a big thing, right?
Mental health is a big thing. And
So,
I came in here a little
you know,
under mental health and had a
he
vent
needed a
and
hug. I gave him a hug.
I needed a hug.
And then I made fun of him for getting a hug.
I needed a
'Cause-
hug, and then after I was told to get a hug, I got made fun of for getting a hug. So you can't win with anything in this world.
can't.
Everybody's
You
too
can't.
sensitive. It's hard, and everybody needs a break. I need a break now. That's
calling
what I should say.
HR
I need a
on
break.
you.
Somebody call.
I'm calling HR on
Not
you
again.
because
It's like
Well,
I see
again.
I see all those memes of this guy, the guy walking like this is how I walk to HR after I told the joke. I'm like, it's me all the time. And sometimes I say things and I'm like, oh yeah, it's so bad. Man. Anyway, so yeah, the kitchens are different, times are different. There's too many characters that don't have character, which, you know, again, I think there's too many people that don't have the skill level to be where they are. It takes balls to walk in the kitchen and do it. It takes balls to do, well, what, you know, we used to do on a level in some way. Now I get to talk
Because
about
nobody
it.
wants to be broken down and rebuilt. They think that they're the hot shit because they watched a few YouTube videos and now they think they can be or either the next best chef or a food critic. And food critics are usually failed chefs.
You have to get you have to have tough. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Sometimes
Well,
I'm a food critic in my own mind. I mean, I'm not a failed chef, but I mean,
what I'm saying, in most industries, like a critic becomes somebody who couldn't succeed making money in that
so now
industry.
they're going to judge everybody
So now
else's.
they're going to be finding everybody else's shortcomings.
and this industry, man, you need to have thick skin.
Yeah.
I learned that
and-
watching
and-
Ratatouille.
Ratatouille. And this time you don't have it. You know, you don't have it. Like we were talking before about how people want, being stagnant. This is a career where you can't be stagnant.
No.
There's people that are stagnant, where I've worked with guys where they just want to be the AM grill cook 6 days a week. That's what they want to do. They know how much of this, and they're amazing at it. Phenomenal at it. But what are you going to do if that ends?
Well, that's because they're
You know?
complacent.
And you're complacent and you just become stagnant. I think this is an industry where I don't frown upon people. If I'm looking at a resume and I see, especially in a kitchen, that you bounce around, but you're at least holding a spot for a couple of years, people get bored.
Yeah.
You get bored. You get bored doing the same thing. And in the industry, if you go into a restaurant, the only way anybody's moving up from a sous chef is if your executive chef gets shit canned or he drops
Basically.
dead. And then there's really probably
If
not a
you
good chance
outlive
that you're getting
somebody,
it.
yeah.
You have to, that's what it is. It's survival of the fittest. And I don't think people these days have tough skin for that. Like we have people that, you look for jobs and jobs and jobs and they won't take you just because they've seen you be complacent. And I'd rather take
You were
the
a fry
20-year-old
cook for
kid.
20 years. Why? Why
I-
didn't you go up higher?
Right. I'd rather take the 20-year-old kid that, and this is not me saying, just saying, I'd rather take the 20-year-old kid that, is going to, he might be on his phone every 5 minutes and have the earpods in and his pants are hanging down to his ass, and looks like he's got a head of romaine lettuce on for a haircut. But I'm going to take him because he's going to be complacent in the way where he's going to do what I
Yeah.
want to do and not have anything to say about it, And I think that's where the industry comes from now. That's why you see a lot of these places popping up, quick food. And it's not even fast food. You can't call it Burger King, McDonald's, Wendy's, or all that. But it's quick food. There's a lot of quick food spots that put these kids into it because nobody, and even restaurants, you don't want that. They don't want that no more, the experience. I just rather show somebody, which in my day and age was different because I'd rather take somebody that's green and be able to show them what to do. Whereas to now, I don't think you're showing anybody shit.
No.
The way they walk around now,
You got
the
a place
generation and the way-
card that shows you what sandwich goes and how it's broken down, what layer goes after what, and you basically have flashcards for most of your food. Like a lot of bars and restaurants, most of their everyday hot items are on a card on the back of the line so that people have reference.
So it's like having Lego instructions.
Basically, you have so when you because they know that their line is not going to last because they're not paying people enough for it to last.
horrible.
So people are going to constantly go
Fucking
through.
spot on point. You don't pay enough to have.
Yeah,
Nobody
people.
cares about
I
it
couldn't.
anymore,
I
right?
couldn't leave the corporate world and go make what I make
of course
in a
not.
restaurant.
No.
There's absolutely no way.
That was one of the main reasons why I shifted industries because, especially after pandemic, nobody wanted to pay a living wage anymore. Like, I was making close to six figures before the pandemic, and then I had to rebuild my whole
living
shit.
wage.
But I feel like that's most industries, not just the
No,
food
every industry.
I
but
think
you
it's
have
every
to-
It's like
industry, but I
that.
think the food industry is more taken advantage of
Yes.
anything else
because
of
the food industry, when I was working as a line cook, they expected you to work for half the pay and double the work because they needed only 3 people instead of 5.
But we did it.
But we didn't. But that's the problem. We didn't. That made the owners look. That could be run with 3 people instead of 5. Now
yeah.
I don't need a 5-person crew.
Right.
Yeah, but at that point though, you're gonna burn out
You
your
burn out
workers.
But they don't care because
Yeah.
they'll find somebody else who's just on their way to be burnt out. They keep on recycling
Burnouts.
people, basically.
And if you take somebody that's burnt out, that's in a different place or a different restaurant, and offer them a new position, and offer them the slightest bit of change, of course we're going
You
to
offer them change. You
Of
offer them
course we're gonna
a
take
new
it.
start of hopeful future, and people lie. Owners lie
There
all
is.
the time.
It's an industry filled with empty promises.
Yeah.
We've both been there. I mean,
Yeah.
shit, and it's robbing Peter to pay Paul, and sometimes you make deals with the devil in this just to get through it. Listen. I'm one of the old school guys. I do it because I love it. Still to this day, no matter how much I hate it, I still love it. I know there's nothing else I'm ever going to do, and nothing else I'll get this satisfaction out of doing. I mean, no matter how mediocre it becomes to me or whatever the situation, I just enjoy it. I enjoy everything that goes with it. But yeah, it's definitely not. You're definitely not finding the quality of employee that you found years ago. And
No, because people back in the day had integrity. Like old school cooks were like, we're honest with just about everything. And like, the only thing we'll really lie about is like about calling back the waitress or something like that. Like.
Oh shit! And you can do that, man. You cover for each other. If your
Yeah.
expo's good, he's gonna cover for them by doing a
Yeah,
little dance or
exactly.
something,
Yeah.
or occupying the waitresses because the 5 of us in the back were idiots and forgot to drop the friggin'
Yeah.
six top.
Yeah.
So it's all a team thing and everything. But I don't think it's the industry's definitely changed from where we've come from and so forth. But those are things to look at. Again, I want to know what the experiences are from you, and it doesn't have to be a restaurant. Anything hospitality, man. And speaking of that, anything hospitality, we wanted to give another shout out. We want you guys to check out a reel for a buddy of ours out here, Jeff Blanchard, man. He's got Lucky 13 Saloon, right?
Yeah, Lucky 13's
And-
over 20 years in the business.
Over 20 years, man. Jeff's just a great guy. He's got a great spot. He does. Just check out
Weddings.
weddings, funerals,
Divorces.
divorces. What Jeff does. Everything from burlesque to metal to art shows. Lucky 13 does. It's got some amazing people that work there. We have a lot of friends that work there. Jeremy Keene, we see you too, man. Yeah, check out this reel when we put it up. You guys will enjoy it. It's definitely, like Oleg said, it's a dawn to dusk kind of commercial.
Yeah, and what better way time to bring up Lucky 13's on episode 13, so.
Episode
That's it.
13 of the Meeson Podcast. For the Meeson Podcast, we're probably going to have a ticket coming in because we're ready to close it, of course, because everybody comes in. Ladies and gentlemen, the last ticket is just a
All
tip.
legs, just a tip.
So just a tip with Oleg's.
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 He's got two
Just
legs.
just a tip with Oleg. So this week's tip is if you're making a soup and you're a little bit too liberal with the salt, and a really good way to take out the unwanted saltiness from the said dish is if you either drop apples or potatoes into the pot and simmer it for at least 20 minutes.
So does it matter if the potato is peeled or not?
Yeah. It could be. It just it needs to be diced so that that way the salt could be absorbed into the sponginess of the tissue better,
Right, because
and that's at least in my opinion that's why it works.
I just love how you use the word tissue. I was thinking...
Makes me sound smart.
Or you're cooking people.
Well, I mean it is a tissue, but yeah. So the tissue of the apple or potato takes away the extra salt in the dish, and potatoes are fairly neutral flavor.
Yeah,
and
they just absorb. Because if
so
you
they
have
just absorb, and then you before service you just take it out and discard it. You don't add it into the dish, but it takes it away a bit.
Because mashed potatoes, no matter how much you make them, you always fucking... Oh, it needs more salt.
Yeah.
Needs more salt. Also, another quick thing to throw on that is onions. If you burn or... especially with like a rice or anything like that, I've always found peeling a white onion and letting it sit in the rice will absorb that flavor. If you're not scraping from the bottom, if you have that burnt little flavor in it because you got a little burnt, yeah, an onion works really well. Also, the last thing before we get out of here is if you add too much water to your rice,
And this is how we get canceled.
if you put too much water in your rice when you're cooking it, you could always just throw an iPhone in there to absorb the extra water. And it'll
Nice.
work for you.
It's-
That's my tip of the day, the part of it. So it always works.
I don't think Apple recommends you to do that, but if it doesn't work,
What
send
happens if you get
an email
what
to
happens
chef.
if you get your iPhone wet? What do you do with it?
Put it in a
You
bag
put
of
it in
Put it
rice.
in a
you
bag
put
of
it in
rice.
rice,
Yeah,
and an Asian food
dry
fix it.
rice.
So it works the same way. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Chef. That is Oleg. That is Mike. He doesn't know why he does this. Spade with the Epic Beer. This is the Mizan Podcast, episode
13.
13. Check us out. We'll see you guys soon. Thanks for tuning in.
And
Cheers.
Jeremy, this one's for you.